I want to begin by thanking members of the media for joining us today. I want to thank Los Jornaleros for playing us in. We are gathered here today because of the importance of this location. This is an area where typically there is a bustling street market with vendors, folks having fruit, buying food. Today it's a very different story, and that is in part because of the decision that we received today from the Supreme Court of the United States, issuing a stay on the temporary restraining order which prevented the federal government, DHS and ICE specifically, from engaging in unlawful policing. No formal decision accompanied this. There was a concurrence opinion that many of you all may have seen. Notably, there was also a dissent, and there was a dissent from Justice Sonia Sotomayor, which I'd like to quote one sentence from. "We should not have to live in a country where the government can seize anyone who looks Latino, speaks Spanish, and appears to work a low-wage job," wrote Justice Sotomayor. The government, and now the concurrence, has all but declared that all Latinos, U.S. citizens or not, who work low-wage jobs are fair game to be seized at any time, taken away from their work, and held until they provide proof of their legal status to the agent's satisfaction. End quote. Justice Sotomayor is exactly right. We cannot accept a society where people are treated this way because of how they look. A mark of authoritarianism is a country where the government can stop you and ask you to show your papers. Papers, please. That is not Los Angeles, that is not America, and that is not the country that we want to live in. A mark of racism is a country where you can be stopped because of how you look. Apartheid South Africa is a great example of that, where you have to provide papers because of your appearance. That is unacceptable. That is not acceptable in Los Angeles, and that is not acceptable in our country. So our speakers today are going to say a little bit more about the opinion and a little bit more about the impact that it's going to have on Angelenos. And I'm very proud to introduce our very first speaker, who is from the executive director of the Los Angeles Workers Center Network. I'll say that again. The executive director of the Los Angeles Workers Center Network, our dear colleague Armando Gudino.
Thank you. Armando Gudino, last name Gudino. Today's Supreme Court conservative majority handed down a ruling many of us feared but expected. By siding with the Trump administration, this court's majority has revealed itself as highly prejudicial and has further empowered authoritarianism in this country. Immigration agents are now being given the power to profile, stop, detain, and arrest people because of the color of their skin, the language they speak, or the work that they do. In doing so, they have effectively legalized racial profiling and, by extension, racial discrimination. While we expected this, it does not hurt any less. However, our communities have fought too long and too hard to have our constitutional rights stripped away. We will not be silenced, and we will not stop fighting until the Constitution is not only preserved, but restored for every worker, every immigrant, and every family in this country. The Los Angeles Workers Center Network is proud to serve as a plaintiff in this case. We bring forward the voices of low-wage workers across Los Angeles who already face exploitation and abuse. These workers and our immigrant communities are the economic backbone of this city, of this state, and in this country. We will stand with our car wash workers. We will stand with our warehouse workers, with our garment workers, our restaurant workers, all workers, including our day laborers, and all of their families. And we will fight the systemic discrimination this conservative majority has unleashed. Alongside our members at the Workers Center Network, we form a network of support and resistance, ensuring workers know their rights and have the power to defend themselves. This decision will not end this struggle. As plaintiffs, As plaintiffs, as organizers, and as a community, we are determined to keep pushing forward in the courts, in the streets, and in the workplace where dignity and justice is on the line. The fight is far from over, and our resolve has never been stronger. And I'll finish with this. As I was standing for this to go on, a worker came up to me and said, remind them that solo el pueblo va a salvar el pueblo. Only the people will save the people. Thank you.
Thank you, Armando. Only the people will save the people. That's beautiful. Thank you. I next am honored to introduce the Executive Director of the Clean Car Wash Worker Center, a plaintiff in this matter, Flor Melendres. Flor Melendres. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Flor Melendres, Executive Director of the Clean Car Wash Worker Center. Melendres is Melendrez. And I am here today with a bad feeling in my gut. Because the decision that happened today will have the effects to come even worse into our communities. As of today, approximately 81 car washes have been raided, many of them more than 3 or 4 times. Approximately 247 car wash workers have disappeared from our communities. This is just unacceptable. Just like Juan, one of our worker leaders that has been with the Clean Car Wash Worker Center for over 15 years, who even though the TRO was in place, he was disappeared last Wednesday from the Olympic Car Wash. It is workers like him that make our community better, that improve the industries for other workers, that make our communities, that stand up for those injustice and make it better. It is unacceptable. It is a shame that we get this decision, but it's not surprising. Am I right? We are infuriated because the impacts will continue to show in our community. We will continue to feel the pressure because we could not depend on our legal system. We are here for our communities, and I just want to remind us that workers still exist, that workers have rights, that our civil rights still exist. No matter what the decision was today, we will continue to stand strong and there for our communities. I am calling on our elected leaders, city, county, state. We need to stand up and we need to stand strong with our community. The raids are getting more violent. Workers are getting hurt. Workers are dying. Clean Car Wash Worker Center has been responding to the last 3 months to all these needs. Preparing for this before, standing with the communities during, and even after to make sure workers are actually getting home safe. It is not enough to get up and do a video and post it on social media. It is not enough to just say this happened somewhere. Yes, it is important to document it, but it is also important to collaborate and to bring resources to those in the front lines. I urge you to contact Clean Car Wash and get involved. Clean Car Wash Worker Center. There are still offices that are not responding. What else do we need? Let this be your call to action, to stand with our community, to stand with workers. You can continue patrolling your area. You can continue to be near our communities. But most of all, continue to speak up. Continue to fight, because it's going to take more than us. It's going to take more than you. It's going to take more than all of us. And we need to stand strong. To all the car wash community, we are here. To all our community at large, it is time to show up. It is time to stand strong. Contact us at info@cleancarwash.org. Get involved. We need you now more than ever. This decision does not push us back only one step. It brings our community forward a lot more, and we need to see that. It is in the words of our team at Clean Car Wash Worker Center, and in the echoing of the voices of all the workers that are no longer here to fight with us, but continue to share their testimonies, to continue to prepare other families, and to continue to fight. We're making this call out. Collaborate, stand with us. We must stand strong. Thank you.
Immigrant for America, sister. Que viva el inmigrante. Que viva.
Thank you, Flor. I'm next honored to introduce one of the most impactful civil rights advocates in our community, our close partner and the leader, the executive director of the Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights, Chirla Angelica Salas.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. My name is Angelica Salas, Executive Director of the Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights, Chirla, one of the organizational plaintiffs in this case, as well as co-counsel alongside ACLU, Public Counsel, the National Day Labor Organizing Network, Immigrant Defenders, and so many more. Chirla is outraged by this morning's Supreme Court decision. And Justice Kavanaugh's rationale for lifting the temporary restraining order on the federal agents that have illegally and violently detained non-citizens and citizens alike in their all-out immigration enforcement assault on Los Angeles and its residents. Do the conservative justices not have eyes to see the video evidence, or are they not able to read our multiple collected declarations that we have provided? Our evidence demonstrated that these are not calm and consensual engagements with individuals who voluntarily offer information about their immigration status? Absolutely not. These are warrantless, lawless, and aggressive, often violent actions against the whole people simply because of the color of our skin, the language we speak, where we work, where we live. The Supreme Court of the United States decided not to see this evil that has been visited on our people, not to hear the cries of all who have been victims and witnesses of these actions, and not to use the voice of the court to protect individual rights under the Constitution. And as awful as this court decision is, this is not the final word on justice. Our main lawsuit continues in the court on the actual merits of the case. What this decision does is lift the restraint placed by the federal court on immigration officers to stop them from conducting enforcement illegally and with excessive use of force. While these officers were ignoring this temporary restraining order, we were hopeful that the Supreme Court of the United States would rein them in, and they didn't. I want to remind everyone that without restraint, a life was lost. Carlos Montoya, for whom we had a celebration of life this past Friday, is no longer here because of their actions. Countless individuals have been maimed and injured during this time. This is unacceptable, and no local police officer would be allowed to get away with what these officers are getting away with. That is why we will be back in court on September 24th, and we will continue to fight for our people and our claims that these actions are illegal, they are racist, and they must stop now. As a civil society, yes, as a civil society, we must grow more united in our demand that our constitutional rights be respected, because without restraint, no one's rights are protected. Not whether you're a citizen or a non-citizen, none of us are safe. Sotomayor said, we should not live in a country where you can be seized because you're Latino or Latina because you speak Spanish or you appear to work in a low-wage job? And our answer to her is, no, we should not. And that's why we're here, because we will not live in a country that doesn't see us as human beings or as the Americans we are. We're going to continue to fight. Y a mi comunidad quiero darle unas breves palabras en español. Aquí estamos una vez más, Chirla, como una de las organizaciones demandantes en este caso. Estamos aquí con ACLU, Public Counsel y con muchas organizaciones que están dispuestas a defendernos, a defender a nuestra comunidad. Y Chirla está indignada por la decisión de la Corte Suprema de esta mañana. Estamos indignados con la justificación del juez Kavanaugh para levantar la orden de restricción temporal contra los agentes federales que han detenido ilegalmente y violentamente a ciudadanos y no ciudadanos por igual. Estamos indignados que la Corte Suprema no está dispuesta a parar el ataque despiadado contra Los Ángeles y sus residentes. ¿Acaso los jueces conservadores no tienen ojos para ver la evidencia en video o no leyeron las múltiples declaraciones recopiladas que proporcionamos? Nuestra evidencia demostró que estos no son conversaciones tranquilas o voluntarias con personas que después dan información voluntariamente. No, estas son conversaciones que son adquiridas de una manera agresiva y ilegalmente. Nosotros vamos a seguir luchando porque nosotros somos parte de esta nación. Nosotros somos protegidos por la Constitución. Nuestros derechos individuales tienen que ser protegidos. Pero tan terrible como es esta decisión judicial, la última palabra la tenemos nosotros y la tiene la justicia. Nuestra demanda principal continúa en los tribunales sobre el fondo del caso. Esta decisión levanta la restricción impuesta por el Tribunal Federal a los agentes de inmigración para impedirles realizar acciones de seguridad ilegales y con un exceso de fuerza. Nosotros vamos a seguir luchando, así que los invitamos el 24 de septiembre, porque vamos a las cortes, vamos a seguir luchando por nuestra gente y por todos nosotros, porque tenemos que reclamar nuestros derechos. No podemos vivir en un país donde se acepte lo que es acciones ilegales anticonstitucionales, acciones racistas. Todo esto tiene que parar. Y como sociedad civil tenemos que hacer a nuestro gobierno responsable, tenemos que hacer a las cortes responsables, tenemos que hacer a todos los que están involucrados en estas acciones responsables, porque aquí, ciudadano o no ciudadano, ni uno de nosotros está protegido si nosotros no luchamos por nuestros derechos. Muchas gracias y que el pueblo vive en este país y nuestros derechos los vamos a seguir luchando. What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
Now is when it was said. Now. I'm next. It's my honor to introduce the co-executive director of the National Day Labor Organizing Network.